My name is Representative Melissa Schusterman. Actually, my name is Melissa Schusterman. I'm a representative of the 157th. And along with my colleagues, Rep. O'Mara and Representative Green, I'm proud to have introduced HB 630 for equal pay. Equal pay for equal work is fair. And we've been here before. I've been here every year doing this. This is the first year that I actually introduced the bill. Creating equal pay means increasing economic gains in the Commonwealth. That is a common sense win for everyone, but most importantly for women and their families. To attract and keep our workforce, Pennsylvania must ensure we are competitive with our neighbors. According to the U.S. Department of Labor in 2023, women in Pennsylvania were paid an average of 80.9% of what men were paid. This means our Commonwealth's pay gap trails behind not only the U.S. average, but also behind 5 out of our 6 neighboring states. That might be why women are leaving this state, right? This has to change. I was thinking, how do I explain what equal pay means? People are like, how are you going to do that? It just basically means there's a law in the books that people can pursue a court case, or they can go to HR, and they can begin that process. I love Wawa, and I love pretzels. And I ate all the rest, or I'd be handing them out. Here it is. If you're a guy, you go into Wawa, these are the pretzels you get. Yummy. I love my pretzel with my coffee. If you're a white woman, this is the pretzel you get. Yep. If you're a black woman, you get 67% of the pretzel. And if you're a Hispanic woman, I made a mess up here. You get 58% of the pretzel. So I thought that would be a way to really show you that when you get paid less, you get less with everything. And the poster over there shows it as well. When you get paid less, less means less money for household expenses, less money for children's clothing, food, and activities. Activities, that's a big one, costs a lot of money. Your kid can't do it. Your child cannot do it. Less money for retirement savings. And for the men out there, you're affected as well. The women in your households are earning less money, and it's about time your wife or partner made the same amount of money as her male coworker for the same work. That would be more money for the family to go on vacation, for a new car, for the bills, for gas. So I think I made my point. Anyone want this pretzel? No, you don't. No, you don't.
Great job.
And now, I would like to, it's my honor to introduce the Speaker of the House, Speaker McClinton.
Thank you, Representative Schusterman. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is great to be back in session. I'm so grateful to my colleagues, Representative Schusterman in Chester County and Representative O'Mara in Delaware County, for making sure that they lead this fight on equal pay. It is March. March is Women's History Month. March is when we give out flowers and plaques and, oh, you're doing a great job. But you know what else we should do this March? We should pay women fairly. We should change the law. In addition to flowers and plaques and, oh, you're doing a great job, we should make sure that every woman that interviews for a position gets paid her worth, paid what her resume reflects, paid for the years she worked up to building the experience for that opportunity, paid in appropriation for the amount of time she spent in school and with internships and prior jobs, paid in a way that brings dignity not only to her work, but most importantly brings equity. No one wants to outpace anyone. We want the same pay for the same work. And as Representative Schusterman demonstrated with this great example, nobody wants what's left over, but they are paying women across the Commonwealth what is left over. They said, oh, we're so glad you're here. Here's what's left over. Good luck with your child care, best wishes, paying your rent. Hope everything goes well when your kids are ready for college. It's unacceptable. It is absolutely unacceptable. There are 3 million women in the workforce in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that means how many of these women are being underpaid? How many of these women have no recourse at their job in order to discover what they should even be asking for at a certain workplace, at a certain interview? I can remember being a young lawyer, going on an interview, and someone saying, well, what's your salary ask? And I'm thinking, well, I guess I should tell them what I make now and a little bit more. Like, I had no idea how to negotiate a salary. Spent 7 years straight in school, but they never taught you a class on that. No one explained to you what you should be asking for and how to demand your worth and make sure you're getting paid what they would pay a man who was asking for the same thing. It's unacceptable that in Women's History Month in this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we are stuck with these inequities. But I am so grateful to my colleague, Representative Melissa Schusterman, who's leading the way to ensure that by next Women's History Month, not only is this bill out of the House and out of the State Senate, but it is on Governor Shapiro's desk. Thank you. And now it's with great pleasure that I bring up our colleague from Philadelphia County. She is my neighbor in West Philadelphia, Representative Ronnie Green.
Hey! Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Today, I stand before you to address a crucial issue that affects not only the lives of countless individuals, but also the very fabric of our society: equal pay for minority women. This topic is not just a matter of economics. It is a matter of justice, equity, and human rights. Despite the progress that we have made in recent decades, the wage gap persists and disproportionately impacts minority women. According to various studies, minority women are significantly less than their white counterparts when it comes to pay equity, even less than minority men. This disparity is not merely a statistic. It represents the dreams deferred, the opportunities denied, and the struggles faced daily by women of color in the workplace. The reason behind this wage gap are multifaceted. They include systemic racism, gender discrimination, and lack of access to education and professional advancement opportunities. These barriers are deeply rooted in our society and require a deliberate and sustained effort to dismantle. We must continue to advocate and promote transparency in pay, strengthen anti-discrimination laws, and ensure that equal pay for equal work is not just a slogan, but a reality. Companies must be held accountable for their pay practices and encouraged to create inclusive workplaces where diversity is celebrated and everyone is given a fair chance to succeed. Moreover, we must amplify the voices of minority women in leadership positions. Representation matters. When women of color are at the decision-making table, they can advocate for the initiatives that address the unique challenges faced in their own communities. Let us also invest in education and training programs that empower minority women with the skills and resources they need to thrive in the workforce. This is not just an investment in individual lives, it is an investment in our economy and our future. In conclusion, achieving equal pay for minority women is a collective responsibility. It is time for us to stand together, to advocate for change, and to ensure that every woman, regardless of her race and background, is valued and compensated fairly for her contributions. Together, we can build a more equitable future where every individual has the opportunity to flourish. Thank you. Hey!
And that's why Representative Ronnie Green joined a union. Join a union, equal pay. Next up, we're going to hear from the Women's Law Project and Anne Marie Pinarsky. Thank you. Here, I can hold it.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Anne Marie Pinarsky and I'm a staff attorney at Women's Law Project. Founded in 1974, Women's Law Project is a proudly state-based public interest legal organization focused on protecting and expanding gender justice in Pennsylvania and beyond. Before joining WLP, I worked in the labor movement as an attorney for labor unions and workers, so I am particularly passionate about workplace justice. Now more than ever, as the country faces systematic attacks against civil and constitutional rights, we must speak collectively about the necessity of fair and equitable pay, better jobs, and workplace protections. We are grateful to have the opportunity to be here today to represent our clients, families, and advocates across the Commonwealth by supporting House Bill 630, legislation that would narrow unjustifiable gender and racial wage gaps. And thank you to Representatives Schusterman, O'Mara, and Green for your tenacity in supporting this important bill. To be clear, many workplace justice issues need to be addressed in Pennsylvania. Occupational segregation is persistent. Both sexual harassment and pregnancy discrimination are still pervasive. The Commonwealth shamefully enforces a poverty-perpetuating minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, or about $15,000 a year, which actively mires hardworking Pennsylvanians, disproportionately women, and their families in poverty, no matter how hard they work. The wage gap means less money for families to spend on children, invest in a mortgage, and save for emergencies and retirement. Pay discrimination makes all of these problems worse and contributes to the wage gap, which incidentally just widened for the first time in 20 years. Lawmakers who refuse to support equal pay for equal work are demanding that Pennsylvanians climb out of quicksand. And these statistics are worth repeating. In Pennsylvania, women on average now earn 81 cents for every dollar earned by a white man. That's even worse than the national average of 83 cents. Black women in Pennsylvania typically earn only 65 cents for every dollar, a figure that drops to 57 cents for Latinas, who represent the fastest growing population in the Commonwealth. House Bill 630 would prohibit employers from paying employees less based not only on gender, but also on race and ethnicity. The bill would expand the pool of comparators, eliminating a stubborn logistical barrier in pursuing fair and equitable pay. House Bill 630 would also prohibit employers from relying on wage history to determine the salary to offer a prospective employee. Basing a salary on an applicant's qualifications and the job's demands rather than anchoring it to a previous unrelated job is common sense. 21 states and many cities, including Philadelphia, already ban employers from relying on salary histories. Pittsburgh also enforces a salary history ban for city workers. Does the Pennsylvania legislature believe that rural women don't deserve the same protection? Meanwhile, poverty rates in rural Pennsylvania are already higher than in urban areas. It is simply absurd that the legislature has not updated our inadequate and outdated state equal pay law since 1967. Opponents of ensuring equal pay like to say the wage gaps are due to choices. That's true, but it's the choice of lawmakers, not workers. Versions of this bill have been introduced for at least 10 years now. So we call on Representative Dawkins to bring House Bill 630 to a vote in the Labor and Industry Committee and urge members of that committee, especially those who represent rural women, to support a fair workplace for hardworking women of the Commonwealth. It is past time to modernize our state's equal pay law. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the reason this bill is being introduced is there are a lot of companies that go ahead and make sure that their employees have equal pay. Sometimes women don't come back and ask for a raise, so they have to go and say, hey, you need to be raised up for equal pay. But we can't count on every company to do that. Many of them aren't large enough or don't have the internal infrastructure to check and to make sure everyone is paid equitably. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my colleague and friend, Representative Jen O'Mara.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back at it again this session, fighting for equal pay in Pennsylvania. Last session, you probably already heard that we did successfully pass House Bill 98, which is now our new version, out of the committee and the House, and unfortunately did not receive any action in the Senate. So today we're really calling upon the Senate to continue this fight as we work on it in the House. A hard day's work should mean a fair day's pay, but for many working women, especially working moms, that simply is not reality. When mothers earn less than fathers for the same work, it's not just unfair, it puts entire families at a disadvantage. This means that the gender wage gap goes beyond a feminist issue because it is a family issue. Mothers are only bringing home 73 cents for every dollar a father earns, according to the Institute for Women's Policy Research. This wage discrepancy translates to women missing out on an average of $10,000 every year. As someone raised by a single mom, I can't imagine what that additional $10,000 would have done and meant for our family. In our current climate, with soaring childcare costs and paid family leave being considered a luxury, just imagine that difference and what it would mean for so many families across Pennsylvania. Consequently, women often bear a disproportionate burden of caregiving responsibilities. And for some, the harsh economic reality that we live in means that women are choosing to stay home rather than work because it's cheaper to do so. Imagine that. It is easier for you not to work to afford your family than it is to work. That is not a reality that we should be living in the year 2025. Women should never have to choose between contributing to the workforce or their families. Our equal pay bill was enacted in 1959 to end workplace gender discrimination. At that time, women earned, ironically, 59 cents per each dollar that men earned. We're here today, 66 years later, to say that this law, as written, does not work for today's women. Women and mothers in Pennsylvania deserve equal pay and fair workplace protections under state law. Our bill, House Bill 630, would rectify these problems by explicitly prohibiting employers from paying workers less because of their gender, race, or ethnicity, and would protect employers from retaliation in any wage discrimination matters. It also would forbid the common practice of employers using a person's salary history to decide their pay for a new job. And as mentioned earlier, women are often not negotiating the way that they should, so using their pay history against them is what is currently happening today. Closing the gender wage gap isn't just about fairness. It's about acknowledging and repairing systemic biases that perpetuate inequality in the workplace. It's time to accelerate progress towards true equality by demanding equal pay and equal opportunities for all individuals. And thank you to everyone who's traveled to Harrisburg today and all of my colleagues who recognize the significance of this work and who are standing behind me. Have a wonderful day.
I want to thank everyone, including my colleagues, and I wanted to know if each colleague want to come up, introduce themselves, say which area that they cover, and maybe one sentence about what equal pay means to them.
There we go.
Good morning. My name is Representative Mary Isaacson, and I'm from Philadelphia County. Equal pay means equality, and it shouldn't be something that we have to be sitting here fight for. It's something that we're entitled to.
I was thinking of my answer. Regina Young, Philadelphia and Delaware County, and equal pay means the same. Humanity matters, and by establishing equal pay amongst all of us, that means we are recognizing the humanity in our work.
Good morning, Representative Nikki Rivera. I am a 3-month elected representative, and I'm invigorated by all my colleagues that are here doing all this hard work. I'm happy to step up and join in with them, and equal pay means that moms like me can go to work and keep a profession going and build generational wealth. So I'm all in.
Wow, you're good. Well, hello, I'm the shorty. My name is State Rep Derisha Parker from Philadelphia. When we talk about equal and we talk about pay, we shouldn't be having these conversations. It should ought to be done equally. So since it's not going to be equally, we need to make sure everyone knows that women are the backbone of this Commonwealth. Women get stuff done. So we're going to make sure that a woman always is equally paid. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm State Representative Anthony Bellman from the 203rd Legislative District, and I was raised by a single woman that went to work every single day to make sure that I had everything I needed in order to do well in school. She put food on the table, she put a roof over our head, and it pains me to think that any woman that is especially holding down a household on her own will be getting paid less than a man. This is about equality. It's about making sure that our families are being taken care of, and it's about treating women fairly. So we need to get this done, and we need to get it done today. Thank you.
Everybody, this is State Representative Tara Khan. I represent the 194th District, which is Northwest Philly, parts of Northwest Philly, East Falls, Manayunk, Roxborough, Chestnut Hill. And fair pay is opportunity, it's fairness, and it's access, and it's paying women for the work that they do. Thank you.
Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Johanny Cepeda Freitas, and I represent the 129th Legislative District in Berks County. And what does equal pay means to me? It's about time. We women have worked so hard to claim our independence, to be valued, to be given worth, and it's time. The time is now, the time was yesterday, and it's about time that we have equal pay for equal work. Yes, let's get it done. Thank you.
Hi, I'm State Representative Paul Takak from Center County. You know, this isn't just an issue of fairness and justice, quite frankly. It's also affecting families and communities all over our Commonwealth. You heard this affects rural areas, suburban areas, and urban areas. This is an issue that affects us all, not just a handful of people and not just the stronger of our gender. But anyway, thank you very much, and let's get this done this time.
Well, that concludes our press conference. I want to thank everyone who came and all my colleagues who were able to have an opportunity to tell you what equal pay means to them and our speakers. And then I am open to any questions. I assume there would be none, but we'll be here for any interviews. Thank you for listening. And this is no joke. We got to put money in people's pockets because they're doing the equal work. They need the equal pay. Thank you.